Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to discuss a special Happy Mother's Day edition of this sauce that I'm going to provide. And again, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. Actually, no, I lied. Because it's a special Mother's Day edition, I'm going to try to pronounce it as accurate as I can. I would say at least 65%. So the name of the show is Majo wa Kekkyoku Sono Kyaku part 2, because it had 2 episodes. I wasn't too keen on the first episode because it was basically the two main characters, of course, getting it on all day and throughout the episode. I would say at least 95% of the episode was just basically them drilling each other. Well, not really drilling each other, but more like the guy, the boyfriend, drilling his girlfriend out. So today we're gonna extend the episode to part 2, where we actually get to see the mom. So today, of course, we're gonna start off with this episode with a very special dedication to all mothers out there. Well, for those who have, lost their lives, and those who are there, and those who suffer a miscarriage. I really, regardless, happy Mother's Day to y'all. Y'all deserve it. Y'all are very special, and let's get started. So, of course, we started off with episode 2, because again, episode 2 seems a bit more interestingly intriguing than the first episode. The first episode was just basically like the basis of it. But this episode 2 was quite interesting. And I actually read the manga, and the manga was quite, well, it was predictable, and it was actually the same way they animated this. And guess it was none other than Pink Pineapple. Shout out to Pink Pineapple for making this amazing episode. I think that what it was missing, that essence of having a hot ass MILF in the mix. So yeah, so without further ado, let's get right into this episode, shall we? So we start off with our lovely main character, Mojikawa. She's apparently a witch. But she's not your typical witch. No, no, no. This one is actually a good witch, because she apparently lives in this town where she helps people basically provide like fortune telling on their future, regardless of what it is, whether it's success, love, marriage, whatever it is. She may be able to honestly predict their futures. Now, here's the thing. In episode 1, she was quite powerful. Not gonna lie, I'm just gonna recap the first episode immediately. So, in the first episode, she was quite the powerful witch, but she was using her powers for good. And until she met this guy named Leo, a short blonde shota. Yes, he's a shota. I'm not gonna lie, they did a great job mixing this up. So, of course, due to his, insatiable lust, her powers began to decrease, because she's distracted and she needs to focus on that time of her duty as a fortune teller. So of course we get to see where a customer comes in, and she's telling her, well, listen, your future is that you're gonna have a lover, but he's gonna be much younger than you. And she's like, oh nah, it's quite the opposite. He's quite older than me. And she was like, damn, that's crazy. That is insane. So, of course, Leo comes in and checks on her, and she's telling him about the concerns, because she's decreasing her powers due to the increased amount of times they have copulated. And trust me, Leo was no better, because this man was thirsty. That brother was starving. So in that clip, you guys can see before the switch, of course, they ended up doing it again. So much so that bro, I don't know. Like, I don't understand the logic behind the anime, but damn, they be giving these dudes stamina. I wish I had that much stamina. I'm not gonna lie. And the mom is seeing this from her crystal ball, and she wanted to help her out, because she wanted to lend her some of her powers to her, so her powers can get back to normal. However, she flies into the night, and then we get to her now. Now, this is not going like that. If I'm gonna choose between the daughter and the mother, I am definitely and indefinitely and undoubtedly, I'm choosing the mom, because damn, why go for the bread when you could go to the bread maker? Why go to the machine when you could go to the manufacturer? The fuck? The mom is just so much better looking. And then, and this next clip I'm gonna show you guys, and this is just the exhibit 2, by the way. Now, she was never given an actual name, but apparently she goes by Mama or Haha Mojikawa, because Mama means haha in Japan. So yeah, we see this femboy looking attendant He's the room attendant apparently, and he's like, well, would you like me to do something else for you, while he's apparently helping her because she's exhausted, and she is actually staying at a hotel for the entire week because she's trying to observe how well, her daughter's progress on her, journey to become a good witch, and the mom is also just as good because she's using her powers for good. And of course we get to the scene where homeboy was lucky. He lucky. Not gonna lie, I wish I was me. And I'm sure most of y'all would have agreed that you wish this was your situation with that. I mean, come on. You see now badass witch that looks good. And she, despite her age, because anime logic, the age, she could be 1,000 years old and she looks like she not crossing 35 because from the appearance, she looked like she's about 35 to 37 years old. But anyways, so homeboy is actually helping her out, and of course she tells him to take off her dress, and yeah, bro didn't waste any time at all. But anyways, little homie looked nervous as hell seeing someone that good looking, and she tells him, listen, I need you to take off the strap from the dress from her back, and he does that. And of course he started to drill her shit, and this went on the whole night. Bro didn't even have time to service other people in the hotel. He just saw her and be like, yeah, I'ma get that tonight, I'ma need that. And the next day, before she checks out, Brody was drilling her shit still. And this was during the morning period. And when she realized that her daughter can hold her own, she was like, well, maybe she doesn't need me after all. She's a grown woman. She has a whole relationship. So maybe I should let her be, do what she needs to do. And yeah, so back to the whole situation with Leo and Mojikawa. So they were going at it, not gonna lie. That was crazy. And the way he was just mercilessly taking her to Pound Town is insane. The fanboy looking elf was no better because Brody was not. Bro, when I tell you, bro was going at it, it was like the first and last time. And she said somewhere along the lines where she wanted to come back next week, and he was like, no, don't do that because you'll end up pregnant again. Because Brody was talking sweet nothings in her ear. He was telling her exactly what she wanted to hear, and she was excited. She was on cloud nine at that point. So yeah, that is it for episode 2. I'm not gonna lie, I personally enjoy episode 2 better than episode 1 because 1, they included a mom in this. So that is it for the video. I really enjoyed you guys supporting the channel. We're very close to 800. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this is crazy of how far I've reached. And this is why I wanted to dedicate this special episode, a Mother's Day edition of this show, because again, it was great. Manga, it was consistent with the animation. And again, shout out to Pink Pineapple. So thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Facebook. So yeah, until then, peace out. And if you guys have any recommendation, feel free to DM me.